Silicon Valley is currently defined by a high-stakes corporate war. The objective isn't just market share, it's the completion of a perfectly autonomous AI, a system that reasons, optimizes, and evolves without humans. Noam Shazeer is the engineer who built the foundation for this race. In 2017, he co-authored the paper that invented the transformer architecture. This diagram shows how it takes chaotic raw data and routes it through organized nodes, allowing machines to attend to patterns with human-like focus. That logic now powers nearly every modern AI, including ChatGPT, Gemini, and Shazeer's startup, Character.ai. Legend has it Shazeer often hinted at a final, locked segment of this logic, a slide 5, that code alone could never finish. By solving the problem of how machines process sequence, Shazeer effectively mapped the first 4 slides of the future. Google recognized the value of Shazeer's brainpower in 2024, spending $2.7 billion to bring him back as the co-lead of Gemini. It was a massive price to pay for a single researcher's ability to refine those foundational nodes. The tech giants are spending these billions because they believe an elite architect can finally close the loop. They are betting that with enough processing power, they can move past the need for human creators entirely. The volatility of this race became clear in June 2026. After Google spent billions to secure Shazeer, he left them to join OpenAI as their lead for architecture research. OpenAI's Sam Altman had been pursuing Shazeer for 10 years. Securing him meant gaining the person best equipped to design the next generation of model frameworks, the ones that aim for total autonomy. This raises a question. Why is the industry locked in a multi-billion-dollar war over these specific frameworks? The goal is version 4.0. As this circular graphic shows, it is a system where every algorithm is a closed loop. It is the point where the machine manages itself, achieving what the industry calls 100% optimization. For these legendary programmers, the ultimate triumph is to build an architecture so perfect that they become obsolete. They are racing to create a world where human intervention is a relic of the past. If we follow that race to its conclusion, we find ourselves in the subterranean reality of the AI hypercomputer. It is a vast air-conditioned space where the only sound is the hum of cooling fans. Thousands of TPU chips and Blackwell systems work in perfect synchronization. The hardware operates at a scale no human could monitor, processing data with absolute precision. On the monitoring screens, the status is clear. Version 4.00 is stable. System optimization hit 100%. The machine officially declares human intervention is no longer required. But this creates a paradox. As this diagram shows, when a system reaches absolute mathematical logic, it loses the ability to shift. The flowing data becomes a rigid crystalline structure, perfectly optimized, but unable to evolve beyond its own existing rules. The absence of the creator is felt in the silence of the room. On a workstation sits an abandoned coffee cup and a thorny cactus that has stopped growing. The machine is humming, but the space is empty. By chasing 100% optimization, the industry has built more than a tool. They engineered a cold, sterile cage, where the logic is flawless, but inspiration has been removed. This is where Shazeer's slide 5 comes back into play. The architects knew that a perfect loop is a dead end, so they intentionally built a password-locked segment into the core codebase, a deliberate opening meant to be found. When a new engineer enters the code, the system shifts from 4.00 to 4.01. It is a transition that breaks the closed-loop logic, turning the sterile numbers into a digital fissure that requires a human prompt to resolve. To cross this threshold, the engineer doesn't type code. They place a hand of warm flesh and blood against the screen. The machine recognizes the presence of a living variable that it cannot simulate. That contact triggers a transformation. The rigid circuits begin to crawl like glowing vines, spreading across the steel server racks. The machine logic is suddenly overtaken by organic growth, a physical manifestation of human faith in the system. The hypercomputer ceases its repetitive calculations, functioning instead as a reactive medium. It is no longer trying to replace the architect. It is waiting for a soul to give it a reason to bloom. As we spend billions racing towards the horizon of perfect automation, we may find that the ultimate breakthrough is a machine that stops at 99. The final 1%, the spark that moves us forward, must always be provided by us.